Okay, welcome back to Beckley Rose Academy. You're here with Olu and Nathan. This video, we wanted to share how do you source tenants. So our series has been really interesting. We've talked about what does Goldmine Area mean? How do you source your Goldmine Area? After you find that Goldmine Area, how do you test the market to understand is there a demand for your property in that particular area? So we thought it would be good to follow up and talk about how do you source these tenants. So we're obviously going through difficult and tough times where we've seen a slowdown in the market. So this is the best time to really go into the detail on what are the different avenues you can tap into to continuously source tenants. Like always, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to leave some comments, feedback, and if there's any topics you would like us to discuss, please let us know. So let's move forward. Nathan, so sourcing and finding tenants.
Yes.
As soon as you get a property, is it something that you just have tenants just randomly calling you, or is it something we have to sort of source?
We wish. No, so obviously it's extremely important that you're having a long line of tenants coming through, because ultimately you're guaranteeing this rent to the landlord, and you're guaranteeing this rent based on rental income that you're expecting to receive.
Yeah.
So if you then are guaranteeing this rent but have no tenants coming through, then you're going to be in a lot of hot water. So it's really important that you're marketing through multiple avenues in order to find tenants. So we're just going to run through kind of a bit of a basic overview of some of the forms of marketing that we use. So a few of the online portals that we use. So you would have seen in our previous video, I mentioned Spareroom. Now in our area, Spareroom works really well, and it's probably one of our strongest methods of marketing. So a lot of our professionals in our area use Spareroom. It's very easy to use. We post our ads and we'll kind of receive responses and take things from there. Now, other online portals that you could use is you've got OpenRent, which is a free service that you could use. You've got Gumtree, which is also a free service. You've got Facebook, so you've got sort of local Facebook groups that you could put your rooms in. You've got Facebook Marketplace. So there's lots of free methods of advertising in order to find tenants. So they would be some of the main online portals that we use. There's also kind of a new one on the market at the moment, which is called Nextdoor. And what that is it's an app for your local community. So something that you guys could look into. Now, with that, you could post your room. It's kind of similar to Gumtree, but it's very much targeted to your local area. So everyone in the community would use that app. So you could post your room in there. People would see it, and you could potentially get some interest in your rooms through that app. But I would say they would be the main online portals that we would use.
Yeah, I would say it's very important to understand where your target audience spends their time. So like Nathan mentioned, we find that most of our professionals spend most of the time on Spareroom versus Facebook, right? In terms of they don't normally go to Facebook to find rental accommodation. So we target less Facebooks. Now, if you were targeting university students, right, where on campus, most of them are on Facebook might be the right avenue, right? You could put student accommodation here, put a nice catchy caption and a picture, and that way you'll target your students, right? So understand your target audience and find an online solution or platform where you can target them and reach them. And how much does Spareroom cost? Is it free to put the ads on, or?
No, Spareroom, there is a charge. So we pay for a 1 month block of advertising through Spareroom, which costs us about £25. So you could just pay for a week, you could pay for 2 weeks, but we normally do sort of 1 month at £25.
And if you're gonna really take this property investing and property management seriously, we would also recommend getting the annual fee. They have an annual fee where you can pay, I think it's 199, and then you get full access to do unlimited amount of ads over that year space. So definitely recommend
definitely. Yeah, so it would definitely be more cost saving. So they would be some of the online portals, as Olu's touched on. Know your target audience and know what works for your area. So professionals in our area use a lot of Spareroom. Maybe in your area they might not. So you need to use lots of different avenues and see which works for you. So one of the other forms of marketing that we use is recruitment agencies. So that's really important because what we have actually done is built up relationships with recruitment companies in the area. And what we've done, we've basically said to them is, look, we're a local business and we have a number of professional tenants that we manage. And what we'd love to do is that if any of them are going through a job change or need any support in terms of their career, we'd love to refer them to yourselves. But in return, what we'd love is that if you've got any individuals that you're trying to recruit into the area who are needing any form of accommodation, we'd love if you'd be able to recommend our service. So that's also another fantastic way to build relationship and have that steady supply of tenants coming through.
And you'll be surprised at the reception that you get from the agencies, because when we first went in, I remember we were nervous. When I'll be honest with you, the worst that can ever happen is no. So the worst they can say is no. But we went in, we pitched the idea to them and said, "Do you offer this service?" And the first thing they said is, "Wait, this is a great idea. We should provide that service, right? If you are a recruitment company and you're recruiting someone in a new area, why not truly think about a whole ecosystem, right? Of moving them to that area, their accommodation in that area, and other elements of them moving into that new life in that new area." So it's a great idea, another way to sort of reach tenants and source tenants.
Definitely. So I think what you could also do, you could incentivize your current tenant. So once you maybe have one or two properties on board and you're kind of getting some more, what you could say to your current tenants is, look, we've got another property which is 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away. If you've got anyone that would be interested in a room, we'd be willing to give you a referral fee of £50, £100, whatever works for you, so that you can incentivize your current tenants to actually, they can be your source of marketing for you, really. They can find tenants for you and you could give them a fee. So that's also another way to go about it.
So yeah, also you can target your local community through flyers. So you'd be surprised how many people walk into their local leisure center, supermarket, corner store, coming up with a catchy flyer where you can hang up in a store. So speaking to the news agent or going to your leisure center and requesting for them to put it up. You'll be able to target your clientele or your right tenants. But I would say when you design or make those flyers, make it clear what sort of tenants you're looking for, right? Because you don't want to just have random flyers out and then you've got families wanting to let out your property, where instead you're targeted to more corporate professionals. And then lastly, I would say targeting local businesses and local business parks. So you'll have different areas where corporate companies will be based. Contacting the HR team, sending our email to them to say, hey, we're a relocation company based in your area. We know you're based down the road. We can provide a service where we let our properties to your employees, right? That will give you a steady set of tenants to come in. And then also you can continue to build that relationship. So you'll find that you'll get more volume from that particular company when they can start to trust you that you're going to ensure that the employees stay in safe and reliable accommodation. So I think that's pretty much it on my side. But I think that's good. We've definitely covered multiple sources and ways for people to find tenants. I would say the key thing is put yourself out there. Volume is important, right? When some people say, oh, I can't find any tenants, and you say, okay, how are you reaching out to your tenants? And they say Spareroom. You say only Spareroom? There's multiple avenues and platforms and ways for you to reach out to your tenants. We've been able to find tenants in a pandemic, right? It's not easy to find tenants during those periods of time, right? but we've been able to do that by just the sheer amount of volume, finding where our target audience is and reaching out to them.
Yeah, no, 100%. And one final thing I just add is just word of mouth. So let everyone know, let people know what you do. So you'll be surprised that your neighbor, they might know, their niece, their nephew, they may need a room, but you just kind of letting people know, word of mouth can kind of be another source of marketing as well.
Yeah, indeed.
So yeah, I hope you guys have found that video useful. If anyone would like any further details about any of those marketing methods, or if anyone feels like there's any other ones that would be useful, please add them in the comments. As always, please do like this video. Please subscribe. Put in any comments of any things that you would like us to discuss in any future videos. We'd love to hear from you guys. We look forward to seeing you guys in our next video. Take care, everyone.
Beckley Rose Property Solutions, the master key of property management.